Hey everybody, this is Lauren with Off Leash Canine Training, and this little guy is Fizz. Him and his brother Clover are between 1 and 2 year old Hound mixes. They are recent rescues who came into our 2 week board and train program to work on laying a foundation in basic obedience, building confidence, and potty training. Those were really the big goals for mom and dad because these dogs were so fearful of new people, new experiences. If it was unknown, then it was pretty much just terrifying for them. And that made it really hard to do anything new with them, to push them out of their comfort zone, and to develop basic things like recall to keep them safe. So they came in to work on all of that so that they could have an easier time working with their parents when they got home on just basic obedience, going new places, have reliable recall in the yard. And then, of course, the potty training aspect was just because they weren't fully potty trained. They would have some accidents in the house throughout the day. And mom and dad just wanted kind of a baseline of potty training expectations that we go outside and not inside. I also spend a lot of time working on kennel conditioning with these boys because they have a really hard time being away from each other. They're very codependent. And so I wanted to work on them being able to decompress individually and just have a safe space to go to if the house gets a little overwhelming, if things get a little too scary. They always have this place that they can go to that is just for them. They did really well with it after a few days and lots of turkey to convince them that it wasn't the end of the world being in there. By the end of the training, they were really reliably going into their kennels, relaxing in there, sleeping peacefully throughout the night, very quiet, which was really nice to see. In these clips, you can see Clover and Fizz and I working through their commands in Lowe's, which was an environment they would have absolutely not been able to handle before training because there's a lot of sounds, there's lots of distractions and moving objects, and it can just be a lot for a dog that doesn't have a ton of confidence. We spent a long time and went on many field trips so that we could continue building this confidence, establishing a relationship with each other so that they could trust me, and laying a foundation in basic obedience for them to fall back on, regardless of what was going on around them. These things helped them so much with being able to handle new situations, new people, anything like that. And they got to the point where they were able to handle a lot more than I thought they would be at the end of 2 weeks. So I was so excited to see that. In this clip, Fizz is holding him down in lows. Very, very chill and relaxed while he does it. And then he even lets somebody come over and say hi to him. It's not a very long interaction, but it's a short, positive one. And that's what allowed us to build a lot of confidence around strangers in public. And then in this clip, you can see Clover at the downtown mall in Charlottesville doing the same thing, holding down, just working on him being comfortable enough to assume such a vulnerable, exposed position and just trust that I'm not going to put him in a position that he can't handle or that is dangerous for him. Once again, worked really, really hard at this, and I was really proud of these boys for being able to get through it. They truly came so far, and I couldn't have been happier with where we ended up. When these boys came in, they didn't want me to touch them. They didn't want to look at me. It just was too uncomfortable for them. So I threw in this clip to show that they were really warming up. Those tails are wagging. They're seeking out affection. And not just from me, but from my boyfriend as well. So this is a clip of Fizz just laying in his arms, accepting belly rubs, being super comfortable. Whereas the first few days, they were completely unsure of me, let alone anyone else. So that was a really big deal for them. And then as kind of the big goal for training outside of the potty training and just the basic obedience overall, mom and dad really wanted some solid recall. These dogs are hound mixes, so they have a very high prey drive, and if there are squirrels in the yard or anything like that, you become chopped liver. They don't listen, they don't even hear you, it seems like, because they're so focused on what they want to get to. So, recall was super important. We worked on this in an off leash sense so that we could have reliable recall in the yard around things like squirrels and deer, other dogs, all of that good stuff. And they did a really, really great job with it. We got to the point where I trusted them a whole lot more than I thought I would be able to after 2 weeks. And I was able to have really reliable recall with them, even when they picked up a scent, even when they saw an animal. And it was really, really nice to be able to see them reliably complete that recall because ultimately it's there to keep them safe.